Yes, flows here as well to have a look at the international papers as usual at this time. Of course, they're all full of this fatal plane crash claiming the lives of 150 people.
That's right. It's really the leading story across the world. Now, as you can imagine, there's lots of emotion, especially in the German press. Let's take a look at some front pages. First of all, Bild. Today, they're talking about 150 dead. An Airbus A320 crashes into the Alps, and you can see here that black line over Bild. Bild is mourning. Die Welt, another German paper, also mourning today, talks about a black day. Once again, this black background here. So there were reportedly a high number of German passengers on that train. Also many Spaniards and Turks, other nationalities as well. It's a big story in the Spanish press, as you can imagine, especially the Catalan press, because the plane left from Barcelona, of course. Let's take a look. This is the front page of Ara, a Catalan paper. Very moving here, very simple. It just has the flight number, Barcelona to Dusseldorf, and then this black ribbon here. El Punt, another paper from Catalonia, has one word on its front page here: tragedy. And this striking photo, this is a photo taken from the arrivals board in Dusseldorf, and you can see all the planes have arrived except for that one plane coming from Barcelona.
And lots of papers also focusing on one fact particularly. It's this plunge, isn't it, of 8 minutes it went on.
Absolutely, 8 minutes. This figure, it's on the front page of several papers. Hurriyet, so the Turkish paper, here it says it took 8 minutes. 8 minutes is a long time for a plane to plunge like that. Now, it's not clear why the plane crashed for now, but this detail is really a focal point. It's on the front page of the Daily Telegraph, the British paper as well. It talks about 8 minutes to oblivion here, and you can see this photo taken of the wreckage, and the Independent as well, talking about the mystery of the lost 8 minutes. And investigators are trying to figure out why the plane plummeted for so long and why the pilots failed to raise the alarm.
Now, also details beginning to emerge about the 144 passengers and also the 6 crew members. France and Spain saying that they don't believe there are any survivors at all, are they?
That's right. Now, investigators are still trying to confirm just who was on this plane. It's going to be tough because it's going to be hard to identify the bodies, but some details are starting to trickle out. You can see here El País, the Spanish paper, has a profile of some of the passengers on that doomed flight. The photos that you can see here are actually 2 German opera singers who had reportedly been on that flight. They had recently performed in Barcelona. And then, of course, is the very tragic story of those school children who were traveling home back to Germany. 16 high school students and 2 of their teachers from the small town of Haltern in Germany. You can read a lot about it in the German press. This is a piece from Der Spiegel. You can see here talking about a tragic end to this this trip to Spain, and it reports from that little town and says that the school is saying goodbye and the entire city is mourning.
And after the shock, the paper's, of course, trying to understand as well why or how this could have happened.
That's right, and the key to all that will, of course, be those black boxes. You can read about it here in the Independent. So investigators have retrieved these black boxes. They've been damaged, as you were just saying, but they are still usable. And they've been examining the cockpit voice recorder. But it's very mysterious because the plane in question actually had a pretty good track record in terms of safety. It had just received a checkup at the commands, was a very experienced pilot. The weather conditions were good. So what happened? It's very mysterious. If you want to read an interesting article about it, I recommend this one in the Daily Beast. It's a little bit technical, but it's definitely worth a read. And it points out that investigators are really favoring the scenario of an accident, but that can mean several things. You can see here this headline. It says, "Whatever happened, happened fast," and the fact that the plane plunged 8 minutes, fell 30,000 feet in just 8 minutes. Well, this article says that points to a sudden structural or engineering failure.
And a lot of the papers as well focusing more widely, if you like, on the safety of air travel, because it does seem to have been quite a nasty year for problems.
That's right. I mean, it seems like we keep reporting about plane crashes, etc. There were those 2 Malaysian Airlines tragedies, the recent Air Algérie, Air Asia crashes. You can read about it more here in Slate. It wonders, have the past 15 months, has there been a spike in plane crashes, or does it just feel that way? Well, Slate takes a closer look at the statistics, which are quite reassuring, actually. 2014 was actually one of the safest years in air travel history. There were 21 crashes. That's the lowest number of commercial crashes since 1946. That being said, though, 2014 was marked by some very high-profile, high-fatality crashes, and this kind of skews public opinion somewhat. So Slate is reassuring, though, and says that the statistics, the chance of dying in a plane crash, are very small, and they're shrinking.
OK, good to hear that at the end of the paper review. Flo, thank you very much. Flo with the papers.